Well, I'm going to be doing my first video here and more of a vlog. So thanks for diving back in. And they're doing some coursework here at work that it's all mundane, easy to do. Just in the background, comments and shit I can watch as I do this. Um, First video, going to do just a few minutes. Talk a little bit here and there about how things are going, how it is. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's having a good week, having a good day. But we have to continue to push. Life continues to throw you curveballs every day, all the time, nonstop. You think things are going good. You think everything is in your favor. You think nothing can go wrong. I planned it all out. You never know. You have to be able to roll with the punches. You really do. And you have to have faith a little bit. You really do. That regardless of what it is, what you're looking at, how it can go, that you're going to be strong enough, have enough faith that it will work, that you're not going to be overcome by the doubt, the possibilities. I think I said it before in an earlier podcast, one of my first ones, came across this saying that if you're able to have an issue, a problem, something's wrong, and why worry? Why let it bother you? Why worry about something like that? Because if you can't do anything about it and it's out of your control, why worry? Because all you're doing is adding stress, adding issue, adding problems to something you can't control in the first place. Or you can control, and what you can do is work towards a solution. Do the best you can. See what you can do and try to solve it. And even if it doesn't work, hey, why worry? You gave it your all. You did what you had to do. It didn't work, didn't work. Pick it up, move on, see where you can go from there.
Just to confirm, you want to...
I didn't even say the word, and the phone's acting up. Stupid phone. But I think that is a very good way to look at things. It's just very hard to accept that that's what it's going to be. To accept that you're going to sit back and be okay with doing nothing, if that's what it takes, regardless of what's in front of you. And I'm not saying that this is for everybody, but men, mostly, that's what we get in trouble for, is when we're listening to our wife's problems or our girl's problems, or when they have an issue, we try to solve it. We're hearing what they're doing and we give a solution. We try to solve the problem and come up with solutions or at least plans of action when they want to vent, when they want to just get it off their chest, just get it out in the open, to then be like, okay, let's move on. I've never understood that, because then is it really a problem if you don't want to move forward? You don't want to come up with a solution. You don't want to actually work on getting rid of it. You're just venting. So is it really a problem, or is it just something that's bothering you? Is it just, a bullshit issue? And I look at problems as They have to have a solution. If there's a problem, there's a solution. What can you do to solve it? Boom, problem's gone. Or at least put plans in place to make this problem that could be long term solvable. The hard part is knowing you possibly have no say in how this plays out, how anything can go, what may or may not happen, and be okay with that, with just sitting back, with not worrying, with not letting it consume you, with not letting whatever it could be take control. And I know I do, a lot of outside thinking. I overthink. I come up with problems that haven't even happened yet based on small issues that look like they could be in the future. And then I come up with like 5 different scenarios. Okay, if this did happen, what can happen from that? That can happen from that. That can come. And it just continues, cascades, avalanche coming down the hill, coming down the mountain. And a big problem with that is not letting it go. And it's small stuff too. Lots of small stuff. Little issues, little things. You know, being tight on money before payday, being around the kids as much. Am I doing what I need to do? Am I there enough for them? Am I giving them what they need attention wise? Am I spending enough time with them? Am I going out with them to the point where I'm interacting and trying to build? I'm trying to make them better. It's not that that's the problem. It's that am I over criticizing myself? Am I coming down too hard on myself? That I'm not doing something that I am doing, but I'm giving myself the bum's rush on. But is it good enough? Am I doing enough for them? And I know I do a fairly good job with them. I know, I could do better, like we all can. But I have to be less in my head and then worrying about things like that, worrying about, am I a good enough husband? Am I a good enough father? Do I provide as well? Am I doing what's necessary for everybody? Then turning around and letting something small, something stupid. They spill something and it's on the floor and like, oh my God, lose my shit. What'd you do? You got on the floor. Why didn't you tell me the floor is going to be stained? You don't even know it yet. Clean it up and see what happens. Did the floor get stained? No. Did something happen? No. They spilled something. They spilled some juice. Knocked over the slushie and walked away. The tile didn't get stained. They brought food in the room and left it there. The dog tore apart the bag and there's crumbs and there's everything everywhere. It's not the end of the world, as my wife always says. The sky's not falling. I have to take that step back. I have to take a deep breath and not be so in the moment with being consumed by what this could be compared to, well, what is it? What should my reaction be, instead of letting my inner just animal always be ready to just pounce? I don't know why I'm like that either. Everybody's got their burdens and how they were raised or the environment they came up in. But to be able to consistently take the step back, to be able to know what it is you're doing, is going to be for the long term. How you react, they see. And I do notice it at times where it does hit you, where it's like, how bad have I been reacting? Because they'll do something super simple. Sorry, Dad. like, that's all right, buddy. It's all right, honey. You're okay. Don't worry about it. Towards like, man, how did they had to react that way? Are they so used to me yelling about something so stupid? Towards like, damn it. I have to stop. I don't even sometimes realize, am I yelling about it then? Or is it my demeanor? Because I know I don't have like the happiest face. As you can see, my normal, because of my poor vision in a lot of places, I've kind of got this as my look. Furrowed here because I spent so much time having poor vision as a kid, squinting and having this. And when I focus, if I'm looking at something, I come into that, and then I'll go to open my eyes more, but the brows stay. This is my normal sitting around face. So is it that they're thinking, oh, is he mad? Because if I'm in a happier mood, if I'm doing whatever, and then my normal face, when they do something, I look at them, and I have that like, what the hell just happened? Sorry, because is that me looking mad? They're about to get yelled at. I have to slap that look off my face then. I have to get rid of it. I have to do better of being able to wash my own face off. Just change your face. Right in the suck hole. I'm I don't know. I don't think I can do that. Just change your face. I don't like it. Good old stepbrothers. But it's a nonstop, you parents out there, you want to do what you can all the time for your kids, but at the same time you want to set a good example for them. But at the same time, you need them to have discipline, unless you're somebody, way on the one side to where it's like, no, just let them do what they want. My kids are perfect. They're little angels that'll never do wrong. They're going to grow up with that. It's never their fault. It'll never be their fault. But I want them to know there are consequences for their actions, that you have to listen. There are rules. Do what you're told, especially if there are rules in place. And I'm telling you why. Yesterday, going up and down the street on his bike, told him a couple times in a row, stay away from the street. Don't go in the street. Goes on into the street, circles back, goes across the street. I'm like, don't go across the street. And then he's on the other side of the street. I tell him to stop because the car's coming down. And if he would have zoomed back, he could have got hit. He goes past, the car backed across because it was the neighbor across on an angle. Just the house, driveway he just got past. So he comes back across. And I go, buddy, see the black truck blocking the street? Yeah. If a car came from that side, they'd turn the corner. They could not see you if you came out of that driveway. They would have turned the corner and you would have been there. They would have hit you before they even got to see you. I'm sorry. Don't say sorry. I want you to listen. I'm saying this to keep you safe. Stay out of the street. And as I'm telling that to him, and I've already said it to the other boy, up and down on his scooter going up and down the block, I look across and he just goes right across the street about 4 houses down. I'm yelling at him now. Get back over here. Don't go in the street. Sorry. You will be if a car hits you. Don't say sorry to me. Just follow the rules. I'm saying this for your own good, for your safety. Stay out of the street. Don't go back and forth on the street. You have a long block to go up and down on the sidewalk. You don't need to go out into the street and across the street. Okay. And then they listened from then on, because then a couple cars went up and down. I said, see, that car could have hit you if you were in the street. Okay. Car turned the corner quick. See how fast that car started? And then they look over and they see kids on the sidewalk and they back off pretty quick because they paid attention. I go, see, that car turned pretty quick, didn't it? Yeah. Stay out of the street. We do not play in the street. Okay. It's about making them understand instead of the I said so. And it's just doing what's best for them and having them understand that is the hard part, because they don't always understand why you're saying it. And you try to explain it to them, they just don't get it. It's about their safety. Okay, well, why is it about their safety? They don't understand what it means or why it means it. Just that you're saying, I'm doing it and saying it so you're safe, because you can get hurt. You continue to do stuff knowing they'll get hurt, and they jump off shit, do stuff, they get hurt. Told you that would happen. Now you look. Now your knee's bleeding. You didn't listen. You were going too fast, being too silly. You were zigzagging. Told you don't do that. You're gonna fall off. Then they'll know, well, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. But it's a hard line to toe, where you want to show them that you love them. You got to discipline them by staying firm with certain things. And when they're acting up, to take things away from them. It's always fun. Being a parent's just awesome. But it is rewarding being able to, last week my wife came down. She went to the aquarium. And towards the end of my shift, they finally got done, and they're like, hey, we're heading back to the car. And they were waiting out in front for me. And I get out there, and they're all, Daddy! It's such a heartwarming feeling to have that, where they run up and they're hugging you and they're so excited to see you. Is this your work? Is that this? And then you get home and they are excited to see you when you walk in from work, or you head to work or head to the gym after work, to get that feeling that they love you and know, is what I'm doing really working? Do they understand it yet? That they know I love them. And it's rewarding when I get that feeling like they do love me. They're always going to be mommy first, I'm hoping, and I'm good with that. I would always want the boys to, at all times in the future, from now on, forever, if anything ever happens, fuck Dad. Where's Mom? Help Mom, protect Mom, whatever it needs to be. Dad could figure it out on his own. That's what I want them to know. If there's ever an issue, where's Mom? Or their sisters. What do we have to do to get or protect them? We don't see Dad. Fuck him. He'll be fine. He's probably doing something so we can get to move on. Let's do our job, get these ones out. If we need to, we'll come back then and then look for them. I want them to have that mentality of mommy first, then the sisters, all of that, and then, hey, where's Dad? I want that for them. I want them to have that mentality for looking out for my wife and my daughters. And when things go on and stuff comes up, they are, mommy first, which I want. But back to the original start, life definitely is a tough one. There's going to be lots of bumps and mountains and valleys. And it's going to come down to, what can you do daily to stay in front of whatever it can be, but not let it consume you. I bring that up a lot when it comes down to, a lot of this consuming. It's just the main thing I think about, because that's the thing I think that gets me the most. I get consumed, and it's not by the issue, or it's not by a problem or a person, or it's by myself. I get consumed in my head. I overthink. I get consumed with what it can be, or what it is so far. But then it's always about what it can be down the line. What's the next step? What can happen? And then it just cascades. It's just nonstop. Okay, if that happened, then what would happen next? And shit, if that was the situation, fuck, if it got to that, then I'll be here with that. And then how the hell would I get out of that? Now I'm way down the line on shit that's not even real yet. But because I went down the road, I started overthinking instead of where am I and what's next? What is it I'm doing right now to be better for tomorrow and get myself in that position for tomorrow to make the next day better? What can I do today? What can I improve upon today? Where can I be tomorrow? And I'm thinking there's a really tough spot with a lot of people of doing the same thing, of never letting things go, of overthinking whatever the issue can be and making it an issue it now is. Even though the actual thing you're thinking about doesn't exist yet, isn't a real problem yet. But now it is mentally, which starts to affect you physically and your surroundings in the current situation, in the present. It affects your home, it affects your family, it affects the people around you love. Because you took a non-existent situation and made it real, at least in your head. And I do that a lot with things and get very self-critical, self-loathing, self-hating, down on myself about what I see in the mirror, especially when I'm at the gym or I'm working out or I'm doing something, and you go to take a gym picture, like, oh, I had a great pump. I go to do something, take the picture in the mirror, and it's like, what the huh? I'm looking at myself with a great pump in the mirror. Like, I feel like, yes. How come the phone and the pictures telling me I don't even have muscle? What the hell's going on? I can see veins popping. I have a good pump. I'm doing so. I take the picture, and it's like, no, we're going to take all the definition, everything that you're seeing in the mirror. We're just going to shade it out. No matter what you do. And then you zoom in too much, and then there's a bunch of blur. You come out too far. You can't see anything. You try to meet in the middle, and it's like a mix of blur. And it's like, what? How does everybody else get to stand in front of the picture, the mirror and take a nice picture? I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good. I want one. Boom. What the hell? But that bothers me, and it's a nothing. Who cares? But it's just something that fucks with me because I don't know. I get in my own head about something stupid that doesn't matter, and then it starts to really fuck with me. And that's another thing that I'm talking about, just being able to stay consistent and not let that consume you. But hoping everybody, we're about a week away now, going into the 4th. I'll probably hopefully get another one up by then. But hoping everybody does end up going into the weekend, having a good time, leading into the 4th of July week. And hope everybody stays safe and stays alert in the way we're thinking. Be better at not being so critical, not being so overthought with just emotional self-doubt of what we're doing wrong when it's not even wrong yet. And like I said, are we jumping to conclusions on things with issues that aren't even real yet, and we're making them real? We're thinking of the negative down the line, and we're choosing that path, and we're drawing it closer to us when there's still a fork in the road. We want to stay away from that side, but because we're thinking so much about it, we're drawing ourselves to have that happen instead of continuing to just not even think about it. I'm going to focus on the good side. I'm going to go after the good side. I'm going to that's what I'm looking to attain. That's what I'm going for. I don't care about what's happening over here. That's what I don't want, so it doesn't exist. I'm going to focus on what I want to come into existence. And I have to do that more. I think we all have to. And be more positive and have more confidence in ourselves. So I want to say thanks to everybody again. Thanks for tuning in. First video. So hopefully we'll get some more of these going and enjoy a little bit more FaceTime. But thanks for diving deep, and I will see you next time.